Let's see. How is this? Is audio coming through now? Let's see. Yes? Wonderful. How is it sounding? All right, everybody. Hi. So hi everyone. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. So hi everyone. Welcome to the stream. So this is going to be a very special one. We're going to have Shiggy's on in a little bit, which I am super excited about to talk Vrains and all things cybers. So I am absolutely jazzed for that. I hope y'all are too. As we usually do, I want to start with our usual kind of metagame update. So let me scroll on over to our metagame update. Let me pull this here. Things haven't honestly changed too much, if I'm keeping it 100 with you. But as we still await a ban list, here is what we are doing. Good morning. How are you? I'm doing all right. Thank you very much. And how are you doing? It is currently evening for me. It's about 7:40 p.m. My time. So, yeah, time differences. Wild, isn't it? So, this is once again from @Subto360 over on Twitter. Big shout out to him as always. So we are going to go through a little bit of this. Finished watching Vrains today. Is the first Yugioh anime I watched. Felt kind of weird to have a Yugioh anime where the duels are the least interesting parts. Interesting. So you think like kind of the story elements are more interesting. You're from Australia. Right on. Well, glad to have you here. So what we saw from regionals and stuff lately, it's a very similar story to what we saw from the event tops. There was 10 sprite and 10 tier elements as the battle for supremacy of the format continues to rage on. A lot of these tier element builds were the tier element danger builds. I'm seeing Lunalights here gaining some more traction. A very cool deck that I've been messing with a little bit as well. Shout out to my friend Noah for pilling me on it, basically. But it's interesting to see this kind of battle for the rivalry of the format continue. We saw 5 Runic decks. Once again, so Runic is coming in different varieties. I've seen Runic Tier Top. I've seen Runic Sprite Top. There are a lot of things that can be put together with this quite well. Because, you know, one of the Runics is a level 2, and one of the Runics is a level 4, which, you know, helps enable the rank 4 plays in tier limits. Which can be quite useful. So yeah, it's very interesting builds. And if you're milling a bunch of your deck, even if you have just one... if you just use one quick play spell while you have the, you know, the Runic Field spell up, you're about to draw 3 cards with that if you get them all in the grave, so it's quite interesting. We had 2 Despia and 2 Flaunderies. We know these decks by now. You get shifted and big rips. No Exo Sister, even after the win at the YCS. Yes, there is also a Darker Curious. Yep. There is always that, because the main thing of the tier element deck is they look at something and they're like, is it gonna make curious? Can we make curious with this? And if they will, they'll probably go for it. So we had a triple singlets of Mathmech, Sword Soul, and finally a Tri-Brigade deck. So I saw the Tri-Brigade deck list for this. It was from a regional in America somewhere. I can't remember who it was. I just looked it up recently. So I'll have to look back at that. Give me 1 second just so I can properly give this person credit. It was... let me see. Top 8, the Philadelphia Regionals, Paul Alston with a Tri-Brigade Sprite build. It was a very interesting build. It was playing no hand traps. It was just playing like board breakers like Forbidden Chalice and Dark Ruler. It also had a wind-up kitten, which that was basically like the main summon from the deck with Gigantic was to make Wind-Up Kitten. And the theory behind it is that it's a great board breaking card, which it's actually the theory behind it is quite solid, because you summon it off of Gigantic, and then you use the effect to bounce a card, and then you use it and Gigantic to go into Sprite Elf to bounce another card. Hey, Blazing Flare. You go into Sprite Elf, revive the Wind Up Kitten back. It's a soft once per turn, so you get to bounce another card. So, I mean, off of that one Gigantic Sprite, you're getting 2 bounces. And the other kind of spice they had in the deck was a Hoppier Squadron, which we've seen in Malfi, and we've seen in a lot of different decks to make Herald of the Arclight, which of course is extremely powerful against Tearlament. Hi, Cinda Nyquil. I love that name. Wind Up Kitten is what you call a Discord chat bots. True. How do you feel about the current meta? So, in a nutshell, how I feel about it, I would say, is I feel decently about it. There are a few problem cards that we've talked on a few on a few occasions about. Cards like Anti-Spell Fragrance are quite troublesome, as are cards like Mystic Mine. I think the ease with which the Tearlament decks can make Curious to go into a Nightmare Griffin line to be able to pick up things like Eradicator is really problematic, because of like trap decks can be kind of just destroyed against Tearlament because of that. So, because the only out to that, really, if they get the thing on board to tribute with Eradicator, is Red Reboot. So I find it very difficult to defend that in a way, but you just kind of have to pivot to playing more hand traps and such. And I think it's kind of moving in more of a hand trap direction, because you don't want Tearlament to just go off, because they're going to put down Spell Canceller, they're going to put down Eradicator, they're going to put down D-Barrier or anything else that they really desire. So it's very much not ideal. By the end of their turn, at least in Lunalight tier, I've seen the graveyard with 25 cards in it. It's a lot. It's really a lot. That's a lot of snow activations too. So I feel decently about it, but there's definitely some things that need to be touched with it. But either way, I really like that. I really like that Tri-Brigade list. I think I would probably go with more hand traps for it, but Paul Alston got top 8 in Philly with it, so all the shout outs to him for that. Otherwise, it's looking pretty similar. We're not getting really any metagame shifts until there is a ban list. And if we don't get one before Darkwing Blast, then Darkwing Blast will be the metagame shift. And it'll be a format unlike, this will be such a different format from anything. Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that we're going to have not Photon Hypernova, that's in a little bit. We're going to have Darkwing Blast before Magnificent Mavens come out, aka Mama, comes out. So we're going to have a format that's unlike the OCG, because it's going to be one where you have the cards from Darkwing Blast, but you also don't have the cards from our set, which is going to be Mavens, which is the Shizu Tearlaments cards. Hey, Mugiwara. So in that, it'll be really interesting, because we'll have cards like Sprite Sprin, but we won't have Kelbeck. We'll have cards like Lady of the Labyrinth, but we're not going to have Agido. So it's going to be a very interesting format, and I'm curious, no pun intended, to see where exactly it goes with that. Any fun world premieres in Mavens? That would be really interesting, wouldn't it? I honestly am not sure. Um, I'm honestly not sure if we have any world premieres in Mavens. I'm interested to see what the world premieres are going to be for the fish archetype, um, for, um, for Darkwing Blast, because of course we're going to get more of them. And fish right now is just, it just doesn't have all the pieces, but I think it has some very interesting interactions and capabilities. Any deck that can summon Coelacanth is a big ups in my book. What can I say? Relicanth was one of my favorite Pokemon. So, Photon Hypernova scares me. Kshatriya is just miserable to face. Agreed. Yeah. So Kshatriya is, it's Fenrir is already being played in every deck in the OCG right now. It's a 2 or 3 of basically everywhere you go. And the more cards that they're getting now that there's the Kshatriya heart monster, the level 4 that becomes a level 7, that's supposed to be the Fire Warrior counterpart to Reinhardt and Reichhardt. It's not a very fun deck to face. It locks you out of your zones. It becomes, they have the Xyz, that's a macrocosmos. So I mean, it is just massive. It can be really a problem to deal with. Thank you so much for the follow. Is it becoming some kind of engine? I mean, right now in the OCG, you're just like seeing the regular, like you're just, every deck is like, yep, we're just gonna put in 2 to 3 Fenrir, because it can search itself and it's good. But it could have, Satrala Punk, as we already saw, is quite powerful on its own. I'm interested to see where it goes with these new cards as well. So yeah, I'm not really sure. Between Satrila and the new Gishki cards in Photon Hypernova, where Darkwing Blast, I think, is a set that's seeming to be like, this is going to be a very fun set. It's going to be great for nostalgia and great for competitive play. Magnificent Mavens is going to probably enter into a very, very broken format with Ishizu Tearlaments. And then Photon Hypernova has some really cool Galaxy support, and we'd have to see. Give me 1 second here. I think my mic is a little bit unplugged here. There we go. Is the sound back on? Are we good? Let me see. Vibrates in Photon. Yep. Yeah, there was, yeah, I had something pulling on one of my cords. So unfortunately I did that. But love that. Also, hey, I've never been sure how to pronounce your name, but DK91, I think that's how you pronounce it. I've interacted with you on Twitter so many times at this point, so nice to see you on here. If Miss goes to 3, I will survive. I'm fine with that. Oh, that's amazing. I'm glad. If Miss goes to 3 though, I'm fine with that. Miss to 3. Sure. It's for you, Parker. It's for you. I'm glad you could too. So let's remove this for now. And let me see here real quick. So I have, let's see. Give me 1 second, guys. So, part of what this episode is having our friend Shiggy's on here. Now, I have not done a Discord call in here, so I'm going to try my best to make sure that I have set this up properly. We'll see in one moment. Let's hit up Shiggy's, see if they are around. Let me summon a funny 3500 beater, god damn it. Hey, I want to give you your right Sparker. Distorted a playset of Lancia because at least stops the. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're gonna see Lancia back. Interesting. Say Tauren jump scare? Was something just showing Tauren for a second? Oh, because of the Electromite to 1 though. Should I have ever tried to Lancia on your... Oh. You know, I don't have a drink here, but, you know, send a NyQuil. Cheers, I'll drink to that. I've definitely tried to Lancia on my own turn. Alright. Let me see if I can get this. So it's going to be a little awkward at first because I'm going to be talking with Shiggies and trying to patch them in, but... Let's see. Hello? Hello? One second. Can you hear me? Oh boy. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Discord. Okay. Let me pop this out. 1 second here. Okay, if I pop this out. And do this. Okay. Try this one more time, guys. Discord. Okay. Do this. Okay. There is Shiggy's video. Okay. How do I do the audio here? If I do audio input capture. What do I do? Okay. Shiggies, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so you can hear me. Now I need to figure out how to patch your audio through. Um, Careful of echo. Is there an echo coming through? Yes, okay. Okay. Try this. Stream and Discord. Okay. Okay, if I mute this here. Can you guys hear Shiggies when they're talking? Cannot. Okay. Okay. Hold on for 1 second, guys. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to pause this for 1 moment and put on the starting up screen, and we'll come back in just a moment.